The Canon EOS R8 is a fantastic little camera, especially considering the price point of only $1,500, but it has some major flaws too. I've been using it for about a month now and there's a lot to cover, so let's get straight into it. The R8 has a 24.2 megapixel full frame sensor. Any camera basically you buy nowadays will have excellent image quality, so there's really nothing much to say about image quality in this camera either. It's just great. The R8 can do up to 6 frames per second in the electronic first curtain mode, which is the mode I always use on my R6, and the 6 frames per second is easily fast enough for my use. Now if you need more speed, you can go up to 40 frames per second in the fully electronic mode, but those will only be 12-bit RAW files instead of being the full 14-bit RAW files, and that mode fills up the camera's buffer very fast in just over a second, and it will take a little bit of time to clear out the buffer fully. But you do have a few different shooting speed options to choose from, and I honestly don't think you would ever need to go up to 40 frames per second because that is just insanely fast, unless you're shooting something very special. There's also a few different crop modes in this camera if that's something you want straight out of camera, but I don't think you would ever need to use them because you can always shoot with the full frame and then crop later in post. So all in all, for photos, you've got a great quality sensor. I would even dare to say it's a professional quality sensor in this camera that is also very, very fast. There's really nothing bad for me to say about the photo features of this camera. However, the R8 does not have a fully mechanical shutter, which I think is fine for taking photos because the electronic first curtain mode works perfectly, but it does mean that when you turn the camera off, the shutter won't close, so you will get dust on the sensor of this camera. I've already had dust on the sensor of the R8, and I've never ever had dust on the sensor of my R6, which I've been using since it came out. So that's just something extra that you have to keep in mind, even though it is easy to blow the dust off the sensor, but it's just something that you have to take care of. Now when it comes to videos, the R8 can do 4K at up to 60 frames per second and Full HD at up to 180 frames per second in C-Log 3 in 10-bit 422 colors. These are great specs, but they're also quite standard in the industry at this point. The R8 can only shoot in IPB or IPB light compression, but I don't think that is an issue because I find the IPB to work perfectly. It also has a recording limit of 2 hours, but that shouldn't be an issue either. I just love the fact that the 30-minute limit is gone. You also have features like a 5-second pre-recording for videos, you've got zebras, you've got peaking, you've got false color, and you've got subject-only autofocus, so it's really packed with video features, but there's really nothing that mind-blowing about them. But there are some major issues. One thing that really bugs me a lot with the R8, and is actually by far the biggest issue I have with the camera, is that it stops recording video when I shoot in short clips in 4K 50 frames per second, saying that my memory card is too slow, but the card really is a fast card, and I've never ever had these type of issues on any camera, on any other card ever, and I've been able to take long 4K 50 frames per second takes on the R8 too, so it's definitely not a memory card issue, so I don't know if it's a buffer issue or a firmware issue or what it is, but I just simply cannot shoot any B-roll type of footage with the R8 because it just all the time stops recording because my memory card is too slow. I don't know what it is about, but it sucks. I've never ever had this type of an issue before on any other camera, so I really hope it's a firmware thing with the R8 so that it could be fixed in the future with a firmware update, but at this point it's really unusable for B-roll for me. It also sometimes takes forever to write the files to the memory card, but it doesn't happen always, and it feels like the longer the clip is, the faster it is to write to the card, so that's also really weird. So half of the time when I'm out shooting with the R8, I'm actually only waiting for the camera to work again, but I really hope once again that this is a firmware thing that can be fixed. But if you're considering buying this camera, I'd highly recommend you check the firmware update logs if that is something that has been fixed. But at the time of making this video, at least, I really cannot trust the R8 for any type of B-roll video work. But let's move on to some good stuff for a change. The autofocusing of the R8 is just phenomenal. It is insanely good. It can track people, animals and vehicles, and it has an automatic subject detection mode as well, and you can even pick which eye it will focus on. The autofocusing is also fast and it tracks the subject very, very well. There are a few different AF areas to choose from, and you can tweak the AF in terms of speed and stickiness and all of that. And there are also some preset scenarios, but I always find the automatic scenario preset thing to work perfectly, so there's no need to tweak the autofocusing settings in my opinion. it just works really well with the automatic settings it has. I'm not even going to talk more about the autofocusing because there's really nothing much for me to say about it other than it's just insanely good both in photos and in videos. So let's move on to overheating. I actually made a full video testing the overheating capabilities of the R8, so I'll link it down in the description, but in short, I have never had any issues with the overheating on the R8, but I have heard of a lot of people suffering from major overheating issues even in photo mode. This might be something that gets fixed in the future firmware updates, but some results I've seen from other users have looked really bad. It kind of looks like the unit that you get will determine how good or bad it is with overheating. I've never had any issues, but some people have had major issues, which kind of makes the camera less reliable. Now, one thing that the R8 does not have is IBIS, and I know this is something that a lot of people will care about. I actually also made a full video about IBIS too, so that's going to be linked down in the description as well. But all in all, you can get amazing quality footage even without IBIS, so I don't think you really need it, but it's something nice to have. It's a great feature, but I don't think it's a deal breaker, especially if you're using stabilized lenses like a lot of RF lenses seem to be. And then we get to the side of things with the R8 that I have very mixed feelings about, which is the camera body itself. In a way, the camera body feels really good and high quality, but there's just something about the usability of the camera that makes me dislike the R8. I love the fact that it's small and lightweight, and I think the grip actually feels quite good as well, but that is also a matter of opinion, so the best bet for you is to go out to a store and actually test the camera out in your hands to see how you feel about the grip and the feel of the camera. It's got all of the basic inputs, it's got the swiveling screen, and it has the new multi-interface shoe instead of the old one, which is a really good thing. There aren't really that many accessories for the new shoe yet, but I bet it will be utilized in the future a lot more, so it's good to have it in this camera, just to be sure. And I also really love the fact that it has a separate photo to video mode switch here, instead of having the video mode as a mode on the main dial. But then we get to the bad stuff. So the R8 only has 2 wheels instead of having 3, so you don't have a separate wheel for every exposure setting, which I've already gotten used to, but it's a lot more convenient to have 3 wheels instead of only 2. The body also lacks a joystick, which I would really love to have for switching the autofocus points. You can switch them by pressing on the D-pad or by tapping on the screen, but once you get used to a joystick, there's really no going back. The viewfinder on the R8 is the same resolution as in the RP or, for example, the Sony a7 III, which is a lot lower resolution than in the other R series full-frame cameras, which gets the job done for sure, but it's not a pleasure to look through compared to the other cameras. And on the bottom of the camera you have the door for the memory card and the battery, and at least on my unit the door feels really loose and definitely doesn't feel like it's high quality. Inside there's a tiny battery and only one memory card slot. Talking about the battery, the R8 uses the smaller LPE17 type battery instead of the larger LPE6 type battery. Now, I'm used to using the bigger type of battery, so the battery life on the R8 is definitely a lot worse than I would like to have. For casual walking around and taking photos every now and then, the battery life is going to be just fine. You can easily have the camera turned on all the time and walk around for a couple of hours without the battery dying on you. So if you're just taking photos, you can easily shoot for a couple of hours without any issues if the power saving settings are tweaked properly, but they are straight out of the box, so you don't have to worry about them. But I am a video first shooter, and with videos things get a little bit more complicated. I ran some tests, and in 4K 30 frames per second the battery lasted for 1 hour and 6 minutes of shooting straight, which really isn't a good score, and when going up to 50 or 60 frames per second the score is even worse. In 4K 50 frames per second I got 47 minutes out of one battery, which really is a bad score. Filming short clips will make your battery last for longer, but you can't expect to get more than a couple of hours out of one battery. While walking around and filming random B-roll in 4K 50 frames per second, I only got around 90 minutes of battery life out of one battery, which really is not good. So you're going to need to have a few batteries with you if you want them to last for a full day, and then you might need to try and charge them overnight for the next day. So this is just something that really doesn't fit for the type of content I want to create and the style that I have for shooting. Now you could obviously turn the camera off between every take, but the camera is actually quite slow at starting up, so if you're going to take another shot anytime soon, that's really not worth it. For my use at least, the battery life of the R8 just really isn't good enough. So all in all, the Canon EOS R8 is a fantastic camera in terms of its features, but it just lacks in usability and in reliability. On paper, it seems like an extremely good camera. It's got a pro-level sensor and many professional features, but when it comes to the body design, the filming issues and the battery life, the Canon EOS R8 just isn't the camera for me. But who do I think it is for? If you are someone who wants a small camera, you only take photos and you don't mind not having a joystick or a third wheel, this might just be the right choice for you. For example, if you want to travel lightweight but you don't want any compromises in terms of features or image quality, the R8 might just be the perfect option for you. Or if you need a B-cam for example, filming interviews, the R8 might be a really great tool. It's incredibly capable in terms of what it can do, but it just doesn't have a pro-style body, which is something that I want from my camera. And it seems like with the firmware at the time being, a lot of users can't really rely on the camera for professional style work. However, with the price of the R8 considered, you cannot expect it to have it all, and what it offers for the price is actually quite amazing. It's got a ton of incredible features, but it doesn't work well enough for heavy use, and therefore it's not the right camera for me. But it doesn't mean it wouldn't be the right camera for you. If you have any questions about the R8, just drop a comment down below and I'll do my best to help you out. But that is all I have for today about the R8. Thank you for watching and I hope I will see you in the next one.